Hey, what's up? Welcome to the What a Deck profile. I'm Hardleg Joe, looking at my Gishki Mind Crush deck. This is a deck, basically, it's two parts. First part is the Gishki, which is, basically it's a Zielgigas Turbo. Zielgigas, really good to get around a lot of the current meta. Lets you pay 1,000 life points, draw a card, and if it's a Gishki monster, you can shuffle one card on the field into the deck. Gets rid of spells, traps, pendulums, monsters, whatever, and it doesn't target. So it's a very, very good card. He's also got 3,200 attack, which is super hard to get over. He's also level 10, which I believe gets over towers. So if you're having trouble with Kleehorps, this is actually a pretty decent card to do it. Not gonna surprise people. The other half of this deck, the Mind Crush portion of it, which is basically working on discarding cards from your opponent's hand. Of course, we've got Mind Crush in here, which if you know what you're playing against, you know what the key cards are. Especially against the meta where it's very search heavy, Mind Crush very, very useful. We've also got Spiritual Water Art Oi. This lets you tribute a water monster to look at your opponent's hand and send any one card from their hand to the graveyard. So all your Gishkis are water monsters, especially your searchers and stuff with low attack. You can easily tribute them, let you look at your opponent's hand. So if you've got this and Mind Crush, you're getting rid of two parts of their hand. First turn can be really devastating. We're also playing Convulsion of Nature. That'll flip both the decks upside down. Kind of a Trollsy card, but works really good with this, both because it can help you with the timing of Oi or finding out what they need for Mind Crush, but also for Zielgigas himself, because then you'll be able to see if you're about to draw a Gishki, if you're low on life points. Then when you activate his effect, you'll know whether or not you'll be able to send something back into the deck. We're also playing Prohibition. Prohibition, you declare a card name and they can't use that card this duel. That doesn't include cards that are already on the field before this. This is once more, if you can use this during your turn or use Mind Crush during your turn, if you have Convulsion of Nature, or if you just know their deck. Using Prohibition is a good way to shut down some key combos. If there was anything in this deck I would get rid of, though, it'd probably be Prohibition. It's kind of a slow card. It can be MST'd. Not too insanely useful, but it has its utilities. Maybe more of a side deck card. I mained it in this one. So for the rest of the deck list, we've got 3 Gishki Chain. He's going to let you pick up the top 3 cards of your deck. If you get a ritual monster or a spell, you add it to your hand. He's also got 1,800 attack, and he's a level 4, so just good all around. Gishki Beast, he's going to let you special summon a level 4 lower Gishki from your graveyard. So if you've already got a Chain, if you've got any of these other level 4s in the graveyard, you've got rank 4 plays for days. Also, you can use him to get back Gishki Shadow or Gishki Vision, both of which can be used as the entire tribute for a ritual. So if they're in your graveyard, if you discarded them to get one of your rituals, you can get them out of the graveyard and then use them as a tribute from the field. Got Gishki Avance? I don't know how to... But once per turn, you can put a Gishki on top of your deck. Not the best. Might want to put something else in. If you change out any of the monsters, he'd probably be more. I try to run more Gishkis so I can use Zielgigas' effect. And he works pretty well, both because if you get him and Zielgigas, then you can make sure that you're going to be drawing and you can choose what you draw. He's also good if you get him first turn, you can set up and then he'll go into the graveyard and he's a target for Beast. Shadow can be used for the entire tribute and you can discard him to get a ritual spell. Vision can also be used for the entire tribute and you can discard him to get a ritual monster. Abyss, when he's summoned, you can grab any Gishki with 1,000 or less defense from your deck to your hand. That is all of them except for Beast. So any of these are targets, and he's great for using with Oi, because you can't really feel bad about tributing him. You put him out there, he's going to deflect, 800 damage at most. He's not going to be able to kill anything. So put him out, tribute him, discard from their hand, and you get to search, so it offsets some of the minus you get from there. We of course got Zielgigas, I already talked about. We're playing the one Goose Kraken, because if you're playing a deck where you discard from your opponent's hands, you've got to have Goose Kraken. He'll let you look at 2 cards in your opponent's hand and shuffle one of them into the deck. And of course, if you have Mind Crush, you can Mind Crush the remaining one. We're also playing 2 Salvage. Might be able to run 3. I swap between 2 and 3. Being able to add 2 water monsters is amazing in this deck, specifically because Shadow and Vision, you can discard them to get the components for Zielgigas, and then just salvage them back and use them as the tribute. Or, if you already have a field set up, you can get 2 Zielgigases in one turn, attack for 3,000 twice, draw 2 cards, and then overlay into Gustav Max for game. I didn't do it in the What a Deck, but it's pretty nice combo. You've of course got your Aquamir, standard you need for the ritual spell. I wouldn't recommend using the other rituals, they're not as good. And everything else I think we went over. For extra deck, we've got Super Dreadrot, Rail Cannon, Gustav Max. Gotta say the full name. He's the only rank 10 I went into. You don't get 2 Zielgigases out that much, but if you do, he's probably the best bet. Bahamut Shark, I've never used. I put him in here because he's water, and yeah, probably switch him out. Ragnazero lets you draw more cards, and you need more advantage with this. Again, two water monsters, never used them. Put him in here. Gishki card can be useful against certain things. Shadal's in particular, because when he destroys a monster, he can send it back into the deck. So, oh wait, no, that wouldn't work against Shadal. Never mind. This card's useless. This card's useless. Black Ship of Corn for extra burn damage. Of course, you want Silent Honor Arc. I'd probably run 2 Silent Honor Arc. I don't know why I got 2 Ragnazero and only 1 Silent Honor Arc, because he's water too, so your Oi works with him if you know he's going to die, if you really need to. Castel, of course, Beelzebub, Abyss Dweller to shut down the graveyard and also help out your water monsters. And then we've got Gachi Gachi and Cat Shark. These are your rank 2s. Not very often. There's a couple situations you'll run into where like you'll need Abyss Shark, yeah, Gishki Abyss, sorry, or Vision Gishki. You can make Cat Shark or Gachi Gachi. I ran into a situation where I had lose 1 turn, and I managed to get Gachi Gachi out to stall for slightly a little bit. So, that worked pretty well. I'm going to sort these real quick. As for the side deck, Gishki Marker. Not sure if he'd be actual side deck. He's an option. You can grab a ritual monster or spell card from your graveyard and add it to your hand. And it's when he's summoned, so if you use his effect with Beast, like, if he's already in the graveyard and you use Beast, you get something back and you have a rank 4 play. I just found things move too fast, but he's worth looking at. Add another advance in here, might be worth. I don't know why the fuck that's in there. I thought I got rid of that. Never mind that. What was I? Oh yeah, that's supposed to be so professional. Monjus, there we go. I originally ran 3 Monjus in here, but he doesn't work with Oi. If you want to go for a pure Zielgigas deck, because he is good enough, if you could just make a Zielgigas Turbo, you might be able to do pretty good without all this Mind Crush shenanigans. And running 3 of him would really help. Because the only reason I don't run him is because he doesn't work with Oi, he doesn't work with Beast, he doesn't work with Zielgigas' draw effect. But, I don't know, maybe get rid of Spell Shattering Arrows, it worked just as well. DD Designator. Great card if you're going for the Mind Crush set and you want a side deck, maybe something that gets effects in the graveyard, like Shadal's or Burning Abyss. DD Designator. Pretty much the same as Mind Crush, except it's a spell, and it banishes the card from their hand. So that can get rid of stuff that they need in the graveyard. Of course, it's a spell, so you have to use it on your turn. But with stuff like Convulsion of Nature and stuff like that, you might have a better chance. Preparations of Rites. Can't use it to grab him, but you can grab Goose Kraken. I didn't use Goose Kraken enough to really warrant it. Got another salvage. And Ritual Buster. This is probably the thing. I had this maining in the deck because it helps stall so much. Because it's when a ritual monster's ritual summoned, your opponent can't activate any spell traps until your next standby phase. So, say you're playing, like, whatchamacallit, Necros or something like that, Ritual versus Ritual, and they get out something big. Well, the next turn you get out Zielgigas, and you send it back to the deck, and you activate Ritual Buster. Not only is their field gone, but their next turn they can't activate any spell trap, so they're not summoning anything else. The This could be really, really devastating combined with Zielgigas, because he hits so hard and he gets rid of such big boss monsters. The only problem I was having, I was running into a lot more pendulum decks that were moving really too fast, which is why I swapped out the Spell Shattering Arrow. But, you know, if you want to play this in real life, probably put the Ritual Busters back in, maybe take the Spell Shattering Arrows and save them for the side deck, see what you're up against. But yeah, there's a couple different ways you can go with this. This is just one. With the What-A decks, I tend to make more, like, interesting decks than necessarily good ones. If you were making more competitive, you'd probably want some MSTs or some other spell trap removal, probably Raigeki, Dark Hole, maybe even some draw power if you just want to go for Zielgigas Turbo. But yeah, that's a good starting place. If you want to make a Gishki deck, can't go wrong with this setup. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see this in action, I have the What-A deck where I played 10 duels with it to test it out. You can see how those go. There's an annotation right there. Otherwise, you guys have a good one. Have fun dueling.